Good afternoon, and welcome back to the brake van fix. Now, as you can see, I've been getting a few bits ready. This is the chassis after spraying it. As you know, I bought just a cheap matte black, and I've sprayed the chassis, so it's come up really good. I have had the wheels on it to try it, but I've taken it off because obviously while I'm trying to fit bits, it keeps rolling away because it's very good. So I've been round and I have cleaned up because this is a very old kit. There's been lots of bits, even on these good size. You've got these funny round bits, which is obviously something to do with the injection moulding. Most of the outside areas look pretty good. So that's it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fit these two end bits. You can see on these are the outside bits. Those bits there in real life would probably be made of concrete, and that's to give an extra weight to the brake van itself, because it's all to do with weight, because these obviously were on loose fitted trains. So the idea with a loose fitted train is to stop the couplings from breaking. So when you're a driver and you're wanting to stop, you're wanting the whole of the train into the back of the loco, so none of the couplings are stretched. So as you brake, and the guy on the back with the brake van, he can help as well. And likewise, when you're pulling away, you need to gently bring all of the couplings out to their full length, and then away you go. Because if you suddenly just pull away with the loco flat out, you will, what they call, snatch the train and possibly break a coupling. So that's the idea. So stopping, you need the train to come into the back of your loco, and when you pull away, you need it out the other way. And of course the brake van helps, because the other thing is not all track is flat. So you need a brake van to help with that. So the guard has to know the road as well as the driver, so that he knows when we're going uphill, downhill, and all the rest of it. Anyway, so I'll put a little bit of glue on the end of that now, and I know these bits go in because I have had a dry run. I always have a dry run and go around with a file and a piece of kind of a very fine sandpaper to clean up the bits, because it's no good once you've got it in trying to do all of that. It's best to do it all in before you fit anything. So we'll put these bits on first. Now the next bit of this build, after we got this in, I've cleaned the side bits up as well, so I'll give them a couple of minutes to set. We then put the side bits on and then find out how these other bits go on the inside. I haven't tried them yet because it's very hard. I think they just sit up against there like so. But the reason is I want to get certain bits in to see what room I've got to paint on the inside. So that's setting in there quite well. That's better. That one's gone off already. So what we need to do now is turn it on its side like so, and then find out quite how this fits. I've had a kind of a dummy run with this. So the bottom slots in like that, and the top needs to just go in like that. So I think what we do first, put a bit of glue along this bottom bit and push it in here so it fits in. So it all kind of slots into the chassis. I think personally this is a really good kit, and I've had quite a bit of fun making this one. And there's a location slot in there for that to go. There's a bit there, so that little bit there fixes in a little bit on there, which I hadn't noticed really before, but I suppose because I've painted it, it's harder to see. So we'll put the glue along here like so on that bit, a bit more like that, a little bit on the bottom as well. Right, here we go. So let's push that bit in. You can feel it locating in there. So I always talk to myself while I'm doing things. Right, and that is there. So all I need then is a little spot up the top there on those corners, and that will be the side. These little bits are for when the guard's sitting inside. There used to be a seat, and he can look along the train instead of coming out onto the veranda bit and having a look. So these are called duckets, by the way, and the reason is so he hasn't got to hang out the side and perhaps risk knocking his head on something that's there. It's a safe way of looking along the train, so he can sit there and see what's going on, because obviously the guard has a responsibility for the train, especially in them days with the loose fitted stuff. I mean, everything is fully fitted now, so everything has a brake that's a working brake controlled from the locomotive itself on a freight train. So I'm just giving that a clean up underneath there. So again, just a dry run on that bottom bit, and that fits in nicely like so. You can see at the top here I've had a bit of a clean up, but I've kind of given it a try, and I think the roof is going to sit on there quite well. I'll just take this little bit off here. These are very old mouldings, by the way, and this is the one that come in this box. You know, I don't know how old it is, but it's quite old. So you know, nowadays, especially when you see the Dapol stuff, the castings are much cleaner in some respect, but not in others. And the reason for that is because they're old, and a lot of them, it says on the instructions, a lot of the moulds that they use, the injection moulds that they use, are very worn. But I think the plastic is definitely different. They tend to use just a grey colour as well, whereas this is red predominantly. So it's got a nice black chassis now. So the reason I'm just forming this bit first is because I want to see that when I get these bits in, what space I've got to do painting, because I need to paint it. So I might leave these bits out and paint the good bits of that, and then slip them in afterwards so that I can get inside to do that. So all I'm going to do now is just a little spot of glue up in this corner here on this bit to stick that one in like so, and then put a little bit down this end on there to stick that one in as well. So put that to there and get that there like that. Like I say, I have been round to clean up a lot of these bits before I started filming, because one, I need to see that it fits, and you don't want to see me there for hours filing away, because well, you might do, I don't know, but I don't think you do. I'm sure you know how to clean up. If you've never made a model before, then I would suggest get yourself a nice set of files like this. There's quite a few, I don't know, 5 or 6 files, different shapes. Is round, which is very good for sometimes if there are round holes on the model that are kind of blocked up with flashing from the plastic, you can just gently push that in and twist it and open the hole up. You've got a 3 square one, a square one, curve ones, all sorts. So the most useful, I think, is this flat file. And these are kind of diamond impregnated. They're not too harsh for when you're using them. And yes. So anyway, I'm just going to slide these in, if they will. I hope they do. It looks like they will. Slide that in like so, against that. So you can see roughly how that goes. But I'm going to paint the inside first and paint these separate and then put them in, because I don't think you're going to be able to paint that nicely with it all in place. So that will sit back there like that, obviously when the glue's in there. That's it. So that's roughly that. Then the roof fits actually quite snugly on top. So as you can see there, let's see if we can stand that up, get in there, that's it. That roughly is the brake van, virtually finished. There is a vacuum pipe to go on. Now I haven't put any couplings on the dapole. You now get a choice of different couplings to go on there. I've just left that with the model one, but if that gets in the way, you can just cut those links of the chain that are hanging down and put, if you want to then put this on your railway, depending on what couplings you use on your railway, I'm sure you'll find a way of fitting them on. But anyway, that is the brake van now, more or less fully constructed. We know the bits all fit. So the next bit for me to do now will be to paint all the insides, because if I glue all that now, you're not really going to get in there and make a neat job. So at least you'll be able to paint up underneath the roof and all the other bits separately. So that will be my next bit. I'll paint all them, and then once that's done, I'll come back and we'll put the last bits on. I'll probably spray the roof grey or paint the roof grey as well ready, and then we'll just do the final bits. You could super detail this if you want to. It's got little handrails. I think that's what the little raised up bit there is supposed to be, those white handrails on the side there. You could get little lamps to go on. That's what these brackets are. These are lamp brackets. Yeah, you can do what you want. You can put these bits on. There are the handrails that you can see on the box lid. All right. It's probably got enough detail as it is. If you put a couple of lamps on, or 3 lamps even on the actual back bit, I think that would make it look good. You could even get yourself a little guard and have him standing there as well if you just want to detail it up that much. But the choice is yours. So a very inexpensive wagon. Now the other thing I may do, I may stick a couple of the old 1p coins inside on the floor just to give it a bit of weight. All right, because they're quite lightweight. I've done a couple of the other wagons that I'm doing. I will make films of them, but I've got metal wheels on there, and you can see how well they spin. The dapole comes with metal wheels, by the way, but the old AIRFIX doesn't. But you can go on the internet, and you can buy a bag of wheels, 20 wheels, which will do your 10 wagons, for quite inexpensive amount, and they're lovely metal wheels. Of course, they give a bit of weight to the wagon, and they roll nicely on the track if you've got quite a few together. So anyway, that's you can see how that runs as well, just like that. It's no restraint whatsoever from them, whereas the plastic ones that come with it don't run very well. So I would advise you to change that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye now.